going on? Welcome. Thanks for checking out this video. So it's no secret that in recent years, Disney has been incredibly upfront about their intentions to warp the minds of children by pushing their not-so-secret agenda into pretty much all of their entertainment while simultaneously shoving their noses into politics, even trying to muscle certain states' policies in the direction that they demand. Like when they attempted to intimidate Florida Governor Ron DeSantis for enacting the Parental Rights in Education bill, which was simply designed to protect children up to the 3rd grade from being taught sexual subjects. Dubbed the Don't Say Gay bill by Disney and their cohorts, which was an absolute bullcrap name made up for it by them, which had absolutely nothing to do with the actual contents of the bill, and was only called that to create a false narrative around it in order to rile people up, which would, for their part, hopefully put enough pressure on DeSantis so he wouldn't pass the bill. As I said, intimidation. So yeah, that was all bullshit, but fast forward to about a month ago. While facing a huge financial crisis involving a cratering stock price, billions of lost revenue, and mass layoffs, Disney decided it would be prudent to oust their current Fall Guy CEO, Bob Chapek, and bring back big bad Bob Iger, in a move I suppose they hoped would help boost investor confidence. I guess Disney figures they all have amnesia and had forgotten that all their poor business decisions of the past decade have been implemented by this guy. But whatever, I could care less what they remember. That's not what this video is about anyway. So shortly after he was given back the reins of the company, Bob Iger held some interviews and an internal Q&A. So in the one, he doubled down and confirmed that Disney would continue pushing their woke agenda. But then in the other, he was slightly sounding a tad regretful about their battle with Florida over that bill, even though he previously denounced it. And I remember some content creators were actually trying to imply that maybe this guy was admitting that they were wrong and may finally knock off this nonsense and just stick to making entertainment. Well, I didn't buy that for a second. Nah, no freaking way would Bob Iger ever stop involving Disney in politics. And it turns out I was right, because not only does Disney want your children, but they also want to stamp on your Second Amendment rights. Let's check out this article. Disney CEO Bob Iger advocates for increased gun control measures. There is no greater or more important task than ensuring the safety and well-being of our children. Bob Iger may be back at the helm after former CEO Bob Chapek's sudden ousting, but anyone who thought his return would shift the company away from divisive politics have found themselves sadly mistaken. New Disney is the same as the old Disney. Yup. Anyone who was under the impression that Disney was somehow going to change, I do understand why someone might hope that they would, but they're completely out of their minds. Disney's just a lost cause. The ideologues at Disney believe in reshaping the world through their content, and now Iger is saying the quiet out loud. Speaking at the Sandy Hook Promise benefit event on December 6th, Iger opined to attendees that taking steps to prevent gun violence, specifically mass shootings, should be among our highest priorities for Americans. Alright, so the Sandy Hook shooting was a tragedy. It was absolutely horrendous what happened to those children. But the only thing worse than that is watching politicians using it to push their radical agendas. As a grandfather, as a father, as CEO of the Walt Disney Company, I believe there is no greater or more important task than ensuring the safety and well-being of our children, he told the crowd, which included fellow speakers and prominent Democrats, former President Barack Obama and Matthew McConaughey. Those of us who are in positions to affect change, whether it's by influencing laws of shaping culture or supporting organizations on the front lines, I think we have an extra responsibility, Iger concluded. No, that's not your responsibility, Bob. Your responsibility is to make your little animated movies without pushing an agenda in them, sell some toys, and get people to go to your theme parks. And then shut the hell up about everything else. You're not supposed to be out there trying to take people's rights away using tragedies to achieve that. I mean, look at this. Influencing laws. Pounding into comics really hit the nail on the head. He's just blatantly saying the quiet part out loud now. He doesn't even care. Bob, if you really want to help stop these things from happening, then maybe ask yourself why whenever a shooting happens, that the perpetrator was always known to law enforcement. I can't tell you how many times I've heard this, that they knew these monsters were a bunch of loose cannons, yet they just sat by while something terrible happened. Instead of going after law-abiding citizens, get to the bottom of this first, and then maybe you'll be able to prevent the next one from happening. But stay the F away from the Second Amendment. Seriously, go screw yourselves, Disney. So anyway, that's pretty much it. Let me know what you think of Bob Iger using his power and influence to go after the Second Amendment in the comments down below. If you enjoyed this, hit that like button and check out one of these other videos I uploaded recently. Or consider subscribing if you want more content just like this. I'll catch you all later.